Hello everyone, so in this video I'm going to talk about the ATP as a supplement. So this is going to be the first supplement video of my playlist, and who still didn't watch my video talking about the metabolic pathways that our body can use to regenerate ATP, go watch that one because it's going to be a little bit better to understand this video and some other supplement videos too that relates to some of those metabolic pathways. So let's begin. ATP is what our body uses for physical activity. So if you're running or lifting weights, it doesn't matter, you're using ATP. But we have some very limited stock of ATP on our body, and as soon as you begin any activity, we just finish the whole thing, just use it up. And your body has to immediately start with one of those metabolic pathways that I explained on the video to regenerate ATP throughout the physical activity that you're doing. So the harder the level of the activity that you're doing, the faster your body needs to regenerate ATP in order to sustain that activity. So it's gonna depend on what you're doing. So if you're sprinting, for example, you're gonna be using primarily the creatine phosphate pathway and primarily, but you can also use like the glycolysis pathway too. Same thing for weightlifting. If you're lifting low reps, like let's say 5, 6, 8, 10 reps, and you're using a lot of weights to actually go near failure or even failure on those reps, you're going to be using primarily creatine phosphate. And if you go a little bit about 10, 15 reps, you're going to be relying a lot on the glycolysis, the anaerobic glycolysis. So here's the key to understand. Our limit of ATP on our body is very, very small. So we just start the activity and we use it up. So the idea of supplementation with ATP will be to give you a little boost on your exercise so you can go a little bit longer or a little bit better, a little bit more intense. But it doesn't work very much this way. If we read some studies about ATP supplementation, we don't see really much of a difference in performance or strength. And what you can generally see on those studies is just on the first set of the exercise, a little bit more of performance. So it's just a few percent better than who wasn't using ATP, and just for the first set. Exactly why? Because we have a limited amount of ATP on our body as a storage, and even if we use a supplementation of ATP, this storage is not gonna be that much bigger. So you're just gonna use it up really fast the same way. Maybe we're gonna have 1 or 5% more performance on just the first set, and after this one, so the second set on, you're gonna be relying just on the pathways that your body have to regenerate ATP throughout the whole activity that you're doing. So it wouldn't be really wise to use ATP just because of that. And if you think how much ATP we can produce throughout the day, the human body produces around 40 to 50 kilos of ATPs. So this is a lot of ATP. Of course, it's not like something that you have already inside your body. This is the amount that your body keeps producing and using throughout the whole day. So on average, at the end of the day, you're going to be using more or less 40-50 kilos of ATP that your body can produce daily. So if you're using some supplementation of a few grams of ATP, it's going to be like nothing, right? And especially when we think about the amount that we can storage on our body, you're sure not going to be much faster or stronger because you're using this. So I don't think the ATP supplementation nowadays is common anymore, or if it ever was, but this is something that it's not going to give you a lot of strength or anything, performance. And we have better supplements on the market, especially being used for one of those metabolic pathways that your body can use to regenerate ATP. That's going to be way much better for you. But this is a subject for another video when I'm going to talk about those supplements. So that's it for today, and see you guys on the next one.